We are Steve and Jill.
Together, we've been buying and reselling land since the 90s.
Our data-centric approach leaves our buyers asking, how can you sell it so cheap?
Here on the Land Academy Show,
We answer that and more. Steve and Jill here.
Hello.
Welcome to the Land Academy Show, entertaining land investment talk. I'm Stephen Jack Butella.
And I'm Jill DeWitt, broadcasting from sunny Southern California.
Again.
We're back here right now.
Today, Jill and I talk about how to unsubscribe in a conversation, usually with the buyer or seller.
Right? Or maybe your partner.
This is
Maybe who you're sitting next to.
This is, a concept that we came up with when we were having a lot of fun with some friends from out of town. It's interesting.
Exactly.
Before we get into it, let's take a question posted by one of our members on the landinvestors.com online community. It's free. And I hope you know by now, Jill and I personally instruct a handful of new and existing Land Academy members in a live class called Career Path. If buying and selling land is your career or you want it to be, check out support at landacademy.com and see if this level of involvement of this craziness that we do is for you.
It's craziness. It's craziness that pays the bills. And puts us in Southern California right now.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. First, let's take a question. Did we do that? Oh, we did. You're sorry. Parker wrote, I started pulling data for Texas to begin mailing that state, and I'm getting quite a few parcels that have homes on them. Kick ass. Sorry. Below, this is shown by the circle, which is a separate APN from the land. All right, so we have an image here. Anyone familiar with Texas and knows how to scrub this data out? Or is it something you just accept as part of the Texas parcel scheme and who cares, mail it all? I'm going with mail it all.
No way. I mean, so between the two of us, guess who doesn't do the mailers?
I know. I do just answer the phone when it rings. Go ahead.
This is not Texas specific. In fact, every single mailer that you do, long before you pull the data, you need to look at the preview and see if it's what you want. Really take a good look at it. By the way, when you're doing this, it doesn't charge you anything. And so when you get that data set all ready to go, that's when you want to hit the export button, because that's when you're going to get charged. So pulling data off of DataTree, first of all, is 1,000 times easier than RealQuest. It's a huge, massive improvement from the way that we used to do it.
Correct.
And it allows you to preview this and actually see, what's in that data set that you pull and preview. Those are the people that are going to get mail. And so you got to make sure. There's a lot of questions that Jill and I answer all the time, where the questions are like this. All the properties I'm getting back from this mailer are wetlands. And, my first mental response, not verbal, is, well, you sent them offers that they responded to you. And so if you don't want wetlands, buying wetlands, and some people love it for hunting, but if that's not you, then you need to make sure before you download the data that the property's not wet. So there's a big component to previewing the data before you download it. And it might very well be that the county or the zip code or whatever data set you thought that passed the red, green, yellow test and you're all happy with yourself. It might be that data, it just didn't come out the way you wanted it in the preview. So you move to a different zip code.
So what you're saying is what you're not saying.
What?
Look, I thought you were going to answer the question, Claire, and just say, okay, here's the different, you need to go through and look at the 325 lines that come back. Like, pull one of them, pull 5 of them, pull 10, or whatever it is. See what column they're using. Is it bedrooms? Is it square footage? Is it something? Is it the assessed percentage? And then whatever it is, remove it or tweak it, however you need to do so they don't pop in.
DataTree allows you, there's no pulling. DataTree allows you to preview it. And so if you sort by its address, and all kinds of properties are coming up with an actual 123 Main Street post office address, you can click on those properties. It's going to give you a map, or it's going to give you an address. You can Google it. Just get in there and do a bunch of research. And I'm not saying take those out. You might want to take them out, or you might not.
At least you know what columns they're using. That's what you need to know.
You want to know what data you're pulling before you start spending money.
Right.
That's what I'm saying.
And the whole thing is,
test it for a reason.
This is the thing I think people have a hard time with. They're like, okay, they always figure out, if I want houses, I make sure this is filled in. If I don't want houses, I make sure this is 0 or null. But then every county's different. This is the part I think people get like, what just happened? I'm like, yeah, sorry, you got to do that again now. Now you got to learn this area. Now you got to learn that area, because they all do it differently.
There's a lot of little different ways to do this, a lot of ways to skin a cat, let's say. How the hell did that ever become a thing, skin a cat?
I don't know, but why did you bring that up?
I don't know. It's just a bad habit,
That's
I guess.
bad.
There's a lot of ways to do this. And you have to, every step of the way, test it for reason and question everything. Because the data that you're going to pull is the data that you're going to mail out. And those are the people that are going to call you back. And say,
Parker probably... Go ahead. Parker probably got an answer here too by the time we did this. Like, I'm sure if someone probably said, "Sure, Parker, what county is that?" "Oh, I just mailed the county. Here's what you need to do." They use this criteria, not this criteria.
Yep.
Noted. Done.
And it's not. This has nothing to do with Texas. Could be in any state.
That's the point.
Today's topic: how to unsubscribe in a conversation. This is the meat of the show.
Whew, that was 5 minutes of not. We could have answered it in one.
And I'll tell you why. I don't. And I intentionally chose to put this on the Monday when this airs on Monday, because it's so important, and it's very. This question keeps coming up over and over and over again, and it's because I didn't cover it properly in Chapter 4.
I don't think that's right. I think people aren't doing the work.
Okay.
I don't think it's
a combination of those things.
Because there's plenty of people who've watched Chapter 4 who are doing just fine.
Thank you, Jill.
You're
I'll take
welcome.
that as the compliment of the day.
It is, and that's all you get. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. The compliment of the hour. There you go, or the show. All right, so today we're talking about how to unsubscribe in a conversation. So this came up with we had sweet friends visiting us this last weekend in Southern California, and wherever we were driving along. I don't know which came first, spam or unsubscribe. Do you remember? But
they're the same.
Okay, same thing. So we're driving along, and maybe it's Steven, maybe it's not. He might just happen to give you a random fact. Like, say you're driving along and you see, I don't know, that. You want to give us an example? I'm trying to think of.
Let me set this up.
Okay.
A little easier.
Okay.
If you have gray hair like me, you remember that the content that you consumed was 3 television stations, and that's about it, and a bunch of radio stations if you wanted to listen to them. And it was because of that, because there were so few channels, nothing ever got specialized. Well, so you would watch the news and it would be some world news event, and that's it. We would all watch it, and then it's over. It wasn't specialized to me. I couldn't change it. It was on at a certain time. I either turned it on or I didn't. Fast forward to today, it's exactly the opposite, and I think we live in a much better place for it, because we can subscribe to whatever we want. If you like fashion, there's all kinds of things you can subscribe to about what's happening new in fashion. If you like cars, same thing. If you like buying and selling land, there's all kinds of stuff, including us, that you can subscribe to it. So it's a beautiful world that we live in because of how we can customize the content that we consume, or not consuming it at all. Well, it's still 1968 when you get into a conversation with a bunch of people at the dinner table, especially people you haven't seen in a long time. So there's a lot of catching up. People change. People are coming from all different places because of the experiences they had over time. And some of that just doesn't apply to me or anyone else, or Jill or anyone else at the dinner table anymore. So I'd like to unsubscribe to that. I'd like to subscribe to the conversations that, apply to us or me, and unsubscribe. So in a funny, very lighthearted, funny way, we all came up with unsubscribe. Somebody says, some stupid stuff, like I'm always coming up with really stupid stuff that nobody's interested in. Unsubscribe.
Yes. So here's where I was trying to go with this. We're driving down the road, and Steven launches into, that was built back before fill in the blank. And I'm like, I really don't care. And so we would either do unsubscribe, or my favorite was spam.
Old man stuff,
Spam.
Old man useless information.
Spam. So that was our new saying. I love that. But then you're right. So as we're sitting here thinking about this show, you were thinking, this is the beauty of the age that we're in. These are your words, not mine. You can consume what you want. And I love that. And I thought, well, I can take that a step further. You're right. I kind of do that anyway. We both do that now. I can consume, talk to who I want to. I can work with sellers or buyers that I want to. Maybe I don't want some people. I don't have to work with them. The best for me is the deals. I can do the deals I want or not do the deals I want to.
That's a great modern example of unsubscribe. Mm-hmm. And we all have those choices. We all send these mailers out. For us, we've been sending mail out since I can't remember even now. It's
right.
Early 2000s, maybe late 90s. Millions and millions of letters. And we constantly get calls and emails and all kinds of correspondence to sell us property from sellers to sell us their property that it just doesn't apply anymore. Like we don't buy. Jill and I have over time increased our financial threshold for buying and selling land. Wasn't that long ago we needed to make 10 grand on a deal, and that's pretty dramatically changed over the last year and a half. So we need to make a lot more. So those deals, unsubscribe.
Mm-hmm. I'm looking at right now, I'm trying to do the math and I can't on my notepad. I was taking if we've completed, like you just said, how much, I love when you bring up mail. Speaking of spam, speaking of spam, whatever 16,000 is times 1,500, we've sent out at least that much mail.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
Oh, geez.
Right?
No, it's millions. I calculated it once.
I know. I'm already.
It's like 2.5 million letters I think we've sent.
Exactly. I don't know what it is, but it's kind of funny.
It's a lot.
It's awesome. So cool. So I guess the point today is, well, you're here because you're interested. If you're not,
you have not unsubscribed.
You can certainly unsubscribe.
You might want to unsubscribe now.
Yeah, now you are. You're like, we just gave you permission. You're like, yep, that's all I needed, Jack and Jill. See ya. I heard that loud and clear. But if you're into it, we'll get you there. Hey, thanks for tuning in. By the way, in case you did not know, this year, I'm so excited because actually we're already working on, are you working a little bit on 4.0? Before we get ahead of ourselves.
I'm always working on the next 0.0 in my head. So
yeah.
Actually, I know there's a bunch of changes that I will make.
I know. So hold on. But in the meantime, 2022 is still the year of Land Academy 3.0, catching up with Land Academy. Go to landacademy.com, check it out. If you have questions, you want to book a call with our staff, whatever, you can do it all from the website, or just make it easy, send a note to support@landacademy.com and someone will get back to you. We are Jack and Jill.
Information
and inspiration
to buy undervalued property.
We hope you found our content valuable and we appreciate your support. If you have not already, please check out our channel and hit the subscribe button.
And your comments and suggestions help us to create the content you're here for. Hitting the like button helps to support our channel's algorithm and gauge your interest for future shows.